Brad Pitt can kill you with one of these things. That is the headline on this week's MBE Movie News. And this comes in from /film.com. John, the headline is, in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Leonardo DiCaprio is full of self-pity and Brad Pitt can kill you with a spoon.
Very, very intriguing indeed, Stephen. I have to say, because also we're seeing a blending of two very different sort of characters in this film. We've got the real characters of Sharon Tate and Charles Manson, and I presume there'll be more real life characters who were actually living and breathing, walking around LA at this time. I always think it's 1968. I don't know if it is. It's 69. Hollywood in 69. We're blending them though with fictional characters made up in the mind of the great Tarantino. So obviously two of them are Leonardo DiCaprio's, what's his name, Stephen? I can't find his goddamn name, it doesn't matter. But we've got his character, he's playing this struggling, jobbing actor.
Rick Dalton.
Rick Dalton, what a name. It's so fitting for the time period. But he's struggling and he's full of self-pity. Tarantino says that he's a guy with a lot of inner turmoil, self-pity over his position in the business. He thinks he should be higher up, obviously in career prospects than he is. But that being the character, the type of guy that he is, he blames everybody else other than himself
John,
for it.
You saw that in the trailer. He looked so emotionally unhinged. You know, just that. I think it was the last shot of that trailer.
It was, yeah.
It was really, really funny the way it was shot as well. I hope that's not an edit. I hope that is.
I sincerely hope not.
I hope that's the final cut you see in the film.
I don't know if it'll be as abrupt, the cut, but I think we will see that playing out.
Yeah, I hope
maybe
so.
Potentially she'll come over and say to him, that was the greatest acting performance I've ever seen. Then it'll maybe be more conversation. She'll walk away, and then he'll start breaking down in tears and getting all emotional. It was an incredible trailer. And you're right, Stephen, it plays in again to the guy's turmoil within, this uncertainty about where he is in his life and his career. At that point, he's also looking for appreciation and plaudits, and he's not been getting it to date. He sees it from this little girl. That makes him feel good, and he actually starts getting all broken up and crying about it. But look, as an aside to that, the guy that's following them around in the actual film, I believe it's Cliff Booth, played by obviously Brad Pitt. He's a stuntman. Tarantino says he's a very different guy, as you did say. He can kill people with a spoon. Not just a spoon though, he says that he's indestructible. World War II hero and one of the deadliest guys alive. He could kill you with a spoon, a piece of paper or a business card. Consequently, he is a rather zen dude who is troubled by very little. So it's very cool, Stephen, to perhaps see what this is going to be like with these two very distinct characters. Different approaches to life. One's full of turmoil, insecurities, gets self-doubt. He's not happy where he is in life. Mixed with this other guy in close proximity who's accomplished a lot in his life. He's been in World War II, he's fought. He's a stunt double. He's a very accomplished guy in terms of being able to handle himself. The most dangerous man in the world, according to Tarantino. We'll get onto that though. I slightly disagree with that, purely because of a character who pops up in the trailer. But seeing him, he's very assured, happy where he is at this point in his life, mixing in close proximity with this guy who's the complete opposite. It's going to be intriguing to see, did he get on? Is there going to be bickering there? Or is it going to be littered like obviously John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson in the
well, that's what came to my
Pulp
mind.
Fiction?
I think
you're going to get the bickering, or you're going to get some comedic moments, some amazing chemistry. Because certainly in the trailer at the start, the little black and white vignette scene when the reporters ask them questions, who does what, you get that sense that they are quite close and they're laughing and joking.
I carry his load, I think that was the line.
I carry his load, yeah.
Yeah, and there was a little laugh after it, John. But you're right, I think this character, Brad Pitt's going to be playing Cliff Booth. I think he's going to be very comfortable in his own skin. You saw that interactions with Bruce Lee, or the chap playing Bruce Lee. I'd be very annoyed if, if Bruce Lee's, his legacy's getting tampered with here, because it just really depends. From the trailer, it looks like Cliff Booth is a bit of a match for Bruce Lee. That was the kind of impression I got from that. But reading this article, John, it kind of fills out some of the blanks in regards to his background, where he's came from, what he's went through, etc. So I'm pretty sure, I wouldn't say, I know that I'm disagreeing with the guy that actually created the character here by saying, I disagree with you here, Quentin, that he's not indestructible. You obviously say he is, so he must be. But you're not with when you're blending him in and he's interacting with a real life person. But I'm very interested to see how these two characters play off each other. That was the two characters that popped into my head, John, when we were reading this article earlier in regards to Samuel Jackson and John Travolta's characters in Pulp Fiction. I loved the chemistry between those two. It was the bickering that was the highlight of their interactions. I just loved the way that they delivered their lines. It was so funny, and the seriousness of the bickering as well. Considering these guys were like hard gangsters, and what they were bickering over was very funny.
Yeah, it was
I think we're going to see. You know,
what do you call a quarter pounder in France and things like that?
You know, and Tarantino, he's the master at these, bringing very much mundane conversations alive, if you know what I mean, and making them very, very quotable. But listen, I'm looking forward to seeing this based on these two characters alone, because when Margot Robbie was cast as Sharon Tate, it did concern me a little, because when firstly, when the film was announced and what it was going to be about, I thought Tarantino was going to dance around this. He's not going to really focus heavily on these events. Margot Robbie's cast, then I'm thinking, wait a minute, if they want to dance around it, you don't cast somebody with that calibre of acting. You just get anybody in there that looks like Sharon Tate, which suggests to me she's got a bigger role.
Yes,
but listen, we'll wait and see. I'm looking forward to seeing this. We're not that far away now. I think it's August it's coming out here in the UK.
It's not long at all, Stephen.
So we're only talking a few
stuff here.
months away from the release of this film, but it's interesting to see Quentin Tarantino is coming out and starting to fill in some of the blanks from the trailer. Do you think we'll get another trailer before the release? Yeah,
absolutely, Stephen. I think we will. Hopefully it doesn't give too much away though, but there's so many characters I don't think have been introduced yet. Like of Al Pacino. I'm pretty sure we got Daniel Lewis, I think his name is. The guy that played Dick Winters in Band of Brothers. He's in there. There's a whole host of other prominent names in there who we've not even seen yet, so he's barely scraped the surface as of yet. It was a quick little teaser trailer showing you the two main figures, obviously, in the film, as you did say, Leonardo DiCaprio guy, Rick Dalton, and Cliff Booth. It focused primarily on them. Obviously, they're falling in this world that's been created, but we've not yet seen the likes of Charles Manson, not in depth anyway. So I think we'll maybe look more into a darker side of the film in a potential new trailer, because that first teaser trailer was very light-hearted. The music, give a little loving and stuff like that, was very upbeat. Maybe we'll see some of the darker sides of this story play out as the promotion rolls on. But look, Stephen, I'm with you. I cannot wait. I'm firmly on board for this. Big Tarantino fan. Cannot wait to see what he's created here. It's hard to believe that it's been 4 years. I think I get corrected the last time. I think it's been 2015. It was when The Hateful Eight came out, so it's been 4 years since his previous release, so it's been a long time. Cannot wait to see it. Cannot wait to see all of these stories all seamlessly, hopefully, and organically playing into this one arc of the Rick Dalton character. And look, I'll finish up by saying Leonardo DiCaprio. It's been a while since I've seen him as well. He was in The Revenant. This is a very different role. Just shows you how incredibly talented that guy is.
I think that was about 4 years ago, 4 years ago.
It was a good 3 years ago, I think, Stephen. Yes, certainly.
Good while. But listen, John, we'll move on to our next article. Certainly looking forward to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but this is, we're going back to the future here. Well, not quite yet, but 1984. It's the Karate Kid gets the 30 for 30 documentary treatment by ESPN. And we've both seen this little documentary that was put together by ESPN in the style of their sports networks. When they look back over sporting events throughout time, this is one where they've made into a sort of a real life event, if you like, in karate terms anyway, in regards to Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence's legendary 1984 karate, the karate tournament matchup in the 1984 film. I love the style of this, John. We spoke previously about the sort of relaunch of these characters in the Cobra Kai series as well, which is working very well for YouTube Red.
Yes.
And it continues to do so. What did you make of this documentary? I loved it. I thought it was well presented. A lot of it was based on the Cobra Kai, some of the stuff that they already mentioned in that in regards to that illegal kick as well.
But simmering injustice that's been followed.
Exactly, but I thought it was well presented.
It was fantastic, Stephen, as you did say, very much reminiscent of the real life documentaries we get about real sporting events.
Yeah.
It was fantastically put together and edited. I really enjoyed it, right down to the grainy footage of the actual fight or the contest itself. The Old Valley, obviously, Karate Championship. That was great, just little details. So there was a couple of moments though which didn't make much sense.
No.
Where you've obviously got Daniel LaRusso talking, no, not Daniel LaRusso, sorry, Johnny Lawrence talking to his trainer, I always forget his name, Stephen, and it's clearly from the film, and it's clearly at an angle which would make no sense. There shouldn't be cameras in there.
And the sound as well.
Yeah, you wouldn't hear it. Finish him down.
Yeah,
it
was clearly taken from the movie, but
and you're talking to him obviously outside of the fight itself and telling him, look, are you not happy with this and things like that. Just things like that. Small little niggles, but look, it was fantastically crafted. I really enjoyed it. It was only 6 minutes long. It was beautifully put together, and again, it's just great promotion for the new Cobra Kai season. What they're doing here is really, really fantastic, Stephen. Reigniting also the Karate Kid as a franchise. Seeing these two actors coming back, none of them I don't think have aged terribly.
No,
I think they've both aged very, very well.
Yeah.
Don't know what they were feeding these people back in the 1980s, but clearly it's better food than what we're getting
that's
now.
that LA Sunshine, John.
Yeah, that LA Sunshine, damn them. We're getting the sunshine now, Stephen, but it's not going to last, and it depresses me tremendously. But look, William Zabka, Ralph Macchio, these guys just personify these two characters. What they've managed to do, as I did say, taking them back on, reigniting this whole thing with Cobra Kai.
The rivalry as well,
The rivalry, and we get a hint of it at the end of the video, Stephen, the two of them facing up, ready to trade blows. So that was, as I said, a great piece of promotion. This is something we're more akin to seeing for the likes of Deadpool.
Yeah.
Where they go out of the confines of the actual world and start blending it in with real world events and stuff like that, using real people.
It reminded me a lot of Rocky Balboa, that final fight where they presented it in the style of a pay-per-view match. I can't remember the channel it was on, John, but
I think it may have been like ESPN or something.
They did get the actual commentators from that period back in 2005, didn't they?
Yeah, they done it in the last, forget it, Creed. The last Creed film, they get real commentators in and stuff like that, and real people who are around about the boxing scene. So it is something that's been done, Stephen, but certainly not. I mean, that's within the film itself, and it's actually like trying to portray the world within the actual cinematic verse as being part of the real world. This is obviously a completely different sort of a universe, and they're bringing it in. Well, it's not a completely different universe. I'm talking graps. Earth in LA. It's not a different universe. It is from Glasgow. But it's just intriguing to see them taking real life people within ESPN, and they're talking about this thing as if it was a real sporting event, and it was so beautifully put together. And I really enjoyed it.
Yep. Oh, we'll move on, John, to The Lion King is not a shot-for-shot remake. John Favreau promises fans. This is coming in from IndieWire. Now, this is in regards to the concerns over the release of the trailer that came out a few weeks ago, John.
Yes. All those little butt-hut bitches posting up comparisons.
There was, scene for scene comparisons on YouTube. I've seen somebody went to the trouble of doing that. They didn't have to do that in my account because I know that animated film by heart. It's ingrained in my brain, and it has been for the last 25 years. John Favreau promises that it's not going to be a shot-for-shot remake. Basically what he's saying in this article, John, is that there's a few iconic shots from the animated film that he would have probably got more flack for if he left them out. The big question is, and it's always that thing when you've got a trailer, you've got a certain amount of time to put in sort of key points into your trailer to grab your audience's attention, and that the big question is, do you leave them out or do you not leave them out? I think he did the right thing including them, because I think it's captured the whole story and the way this is going to be shot beautifully. It's absolutely stunning. The realism in this trailer as well. The shot for shot thing doesn't really bother me. John Favreau says that it's not going to be, then it's certainly not going to be. He's a man of his word,
He's a man of his word, just like the Joker. I'm delighted, Stephen, to hear that he's leaving in some of the more iconic shots first and foremost, because I've never been an advocate of remaking these films and having to change every single little minutiae within the film. That's not necessary. I've always viewed these remakes of the classic cartoon films as reimagining these great stories and characters and worlds for the next generation, who perhaps will not, I'm actually in a trailer here, I don't know why, who won't be interested in going back and watching the cartoon style. They're akin to seeing, acclimatised to seeing the 3D animation and CG and stuff like that now, and they go back and they think it looks absolutely shite, so they'll not consume it. So this is them reimagining it for the newer generations, Generation Z, and even beyond. So I've never been one for advocating remaking these entire films. I loved Beauty and the Beast. I thought it was brilliant. The way that it essentially reshot every single thing, pretty much sorted out some little niggling issues with, as I say, keep saying how Belle got the beast back on the horse and things like that.
Yeah.
Little things were retconned and sorted out. So I'm quite happy for them to do this again in Aladdin, to do it again in The Lion King. And I watched Dumbo just recently, Stephen.
As well.
Lady and the Tramp coming out later this year on Disney Plus. Not for us though. We're not getting it till next year. Damn you, Disney. But look, Stephen, as I said, I watched Dumbo recently, and again, I can't recall watching the original, so I wasn't really burdened by the expectations and comparisons and stuff. But I thought that was a decent film. I don't get the hate for that film at all. I really enjoyed it, but I'm a big Tim Burton fan
as well, John.
so I'm quite happy to see him stay in the course with us.
I think we're moving away as well. The generation that the kids now, this is what they're being brought into the world with. So this is the kind of thing that they'll want to see. They'll not want to see animated films. I think Disney
and 50s
realise
and
this.
1990s.
That my daughter, who's 6, she's not interested in watching Pinocchio or no, I mean actually, those early sort of Disney films.
Like the cartoons.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. She's not interested in that look. She looks at it as if that's old, So I think Disney get it. I think they understand that they need to bring these great stories, these great characters up to today's standards, and I think they're doing the right thing. I think they have to do it if they want to keep people, especially this generation, invested
in the stories.
Yeah, exactly.
Stephen, if they can rejig and rejuvenate the visuals of Postman Pat for a new generation, because they just weren't having the sort of a stop motion thing, like this. They weren't having it. So if they're doing it for something like that, then what the hell's the issue with doing it for these great stories we've seen from Disney over decades? I mean, obviously The Lion King was just in 1994, I recall it very well. I was about 5 when it came out, and I was absolutely in love with it, seen it countless times. But you've got other classic films. I'm pretty sure The Lady and the Tramp and whatnot, again, way back to the 70s and the 60s, maybe even further back. So I have no issue with them redoing it. As I say here, the film will be just a do-over with new VFX sheen. I'm quite happy for them to do that. But look, I've got full trust in Jon Favreau as well to step into the helm of this film, see some areas could perhaps be improved or changed from the 94 classic, and maybe do something from his own mind to change it up and shake up certain little things that maybe will not disrupt the harmony of the story in any way or the characters. So I'm quite happy for him to come in and put his own stamp on it as well, but keep some of those memorable moments. You can't take away from that moment with the little baboon guy, I can't recall his name, like the kind of a witch doctor of the animal world, takes Simba and raises him up across that jutting rock. That's an iconic shot. The stampede shot we've seen in the trailer, iconic shot. Obviously that moment between Mufasa and Scar where he's dangling onto the rock, pretty sure he lets him fall to his death with the stampede. You can't take these moments out, but you can come in, be a great director and writer like Favreau is, and he's proven time and again with the Jungle Book, put his own stamp on it whilst rejuvenating the franchise.
I think the only thing that Jon Favreau is guilty of here is that he's put all these shots into his trailer. But what else can you do with a trailer? These are the iconic images that people remember. And again,
how much of that's going to be Favreau as well, Stephen? You'll probably have people high up in Disney like Iger, and there's another guy, I always forget his name, very prominent, has a lot to say in the cinematic side of Disney. They will be pushing for these shots to go into the trailer.
But it's always good to see the director coming out and caution these sort of speculation and
it's going to be great, Stephen, as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at the cast, it's absolutely stunning, the cast. So I've got full confidence in this film. Cannot wait for it.
Same here. And listen, we'll move on to our final article, John. It's coming in from Screen Rant. It's we're going Back to the Future this time. It's will Eric Stoltz Back to the Future footage ever be released? Now, John, this is an age-old story in regards to the handling of the actor and his firing. We're never clear on how long he was involved in the film. Some people say that he shot everything. Some people say it was only a month. Some people say it was only key scenes with him and Doc Brown and some cafe scenes, etc.
Yeah.
DVD release of 2003, I think it was, of this trilogy. Robert Zemeckis said that this, I think it was Robert Zemeckis or Bob Gale, I can't remember what one it was.
I think it was Zemeckis, I think you said.
Yeah, it was one of the Bobs, said that this film, this footage of the film will never see the light of day. It's locked away. Bob Gale's always confirmed that this footage still exists in a vault somewhere. Surprisingly, we got some grainy footage of Stoltz. I think it was walking across the square.
Yeah.
There was no sound or anything like that in the Blu-ray release from about 7-8 years ago, which I was surprised about. But it does kind of open the sort of doors to how much do they want to show now. Some might say, and some people do say, and certainly in this article they do say that there is enough footage there to actually release a version of Back to the Future with Eric Stoltz as Marty McFly rather than Michael J. Fox. Now, my feelings on this, John, as you know, because we talked about this before we came on, I'd never want to see the light of day of this. I don't think it's a very fair an actor as well. I think it's one of those subjects and one of those situations where the actor's been fired because it was nothing to do with his acting. He's a great actor, Eric Stoltz, but the tone of the film and his acting just didn't match the performances of the other actors, which was a shame. But listen, we're big Back to the Future fans.
Absolutely.
We love Michael J. Fox. It all turned out well for us, but for Eric Stoltz, it didn't. So for him, I wouldn't like to see this.
Yeah, we were just watching Back to the Future 2 yesterday, Stephen. And it's not aged at all. No. It's just incredible trilogy. I wouldn't have it any other way. Marty McFly is played by Michael J. Fox, not Eric Stoltz. But look, I don't know how much of the footage was shot with Stoltz. I really don't know. Even in this article, they appear to be contradicting themselves. They're saying that there is enough for an entire alternate film to be released with Stoltz in it. And then at the bottom, they say that it was only key scenes. So I'm not too sure myself whether they could release an alternate version of the film. Certainly I don't think Zemeckis or Gale will want to release it, just purely out of respect for obviously Eric Stoltz. But I'm sure if at some point in the future they were to come to an amicable agreement, and Stoltz would to say, for instance, he wants to see this footage put out, maybe as a
maybe Stoltz doesn't care.
Maybe if he doesn't care and it's not hurting anybody, then perhaps they will see this footage maybe tagged onto I don't know, another anniversary release date, another box set. Who knows, Stephen? I don't really care either way whether it's done or not. I find it interesting to see the differences, the nuances of the character, what he's brought to it, what Michael J. Fox brought to it, the difference how they played off of the different actors. Obviously Christopher Lloyd's Doc Brown, what the dynamic was like with Stoltz. It would be intriguing to see it, I have to say, but we're going to get it. I don't know. I'm not too sure.
No, who knows? We'll probably never know. But John, Eric Stoltz.
Go back in time.
Eric Stoltz. Let's get into the future and find out.
I need to get me
but Eric Stoltz, apparently his fist appears in the original, the theatrical.
Oh, does it?
It's the one when Marty punches Biff in the cafe.
Yeah.
Because someone actually made a good point that if you look at the comparisons between Biff in some of the scenes and some of the scenes that are shot, he looks more tired. And some of them, so it looks like a lot of reshoots were done, and you can actually see Eric Stoltz's fist punching him, onto the table just before Marty runs out for the skateboarding scene. But it's interesting, and listen, it's something that I've been aware of since I think the VHS releases. It was always something that always intrigued me. Eric Stoltz, fine actor, do some great work. But it's just one of those things. I don't know if I want to see it. I'm not too fussed. The curious side to me always wants to see something, but I think it's not really going to make much of a difference.
And how much is the footage going to hold up, Stephen, in comparison to the actual real film footage? Yeah. Is it going to be grainy? Is it going to be too much work trying to bring this into the 21st century? Although we've seen what Peter Jackson did with World War I footage, so if he can clean that up and make that presentable, certainly they can do it if it's there. But Stephen, I think she did say it's just unfortunate it didn't work out for Stoltz in the end, purely because I think he was more serious and the more light-hearted sort of a tone that the Gale and Zemeckis were looking for. It's just unfortunate he didn't make it, but look, that's just life. We got Michael J. Fox. I can't imagine anybody else portraying a character. He just brought so much to that character. He's synonymous with McFly that I couldn't possibly imagine anybody else portraying the character. A part of me doesn't want to see it ever.
No. But listen,
hey ho,
great Scots. We're at the end of this edition of NBA News. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us, and we will be back again tomorrow for the blog rundown.